Hi guys, welcome to Rejuvenate Osteomates. Hope you all doing good. Today is my first session on what is stoma and what is ostomy. So I'll be dealing with both this topic today. The term ostomy and stoma are two different terms which are interchangeably used, though they have different meanings. Now first we'll deal with what do you mean by ostomy. Ostomy is the term which is derived from the Greek word ostium, which means as opening. Ostomy is the term used for the general procedure operation in which an artificial opening is being formed. So in short, ostomy is nothing but the surgical intervention or the surgery. Now next we'll deal with what do you mean by the word stoma. So in anatomy, stoma is nothing but a opening. So if I talk about our body, we have natural stomata, that is our mouth, our nose, our anus. But in this context, we are talking about the artificial opening in our body. So that is made in a hollow muscular organs in our body, that is our esophagus, stomach, intestine, that is again small intestine as well as our large intestine, ureter and renal pelvis. So stoma is nothing but the artificial opening which is made either in the intestine or in the urinary tract for the purpose of excreting the feces or urine. Now, according to the International Ostomy Association, they have very briefly defined what do you mean by ostomy and what do you mean by stoma. So just have a look at the slide. According to the International Ostomy Association, an ostomy refers to the surgically created opening in the body for the discharge of waste. The stoma is a part of the ostomy on the exterior of one's abdomen where the body waste exists. So this is what a stoma looks like. It is a small piece of flesh, circular in shape, which is sewn to the patient's body. So these stomas are created in the small intestine, the large intestine as well as the ureter. So if I talk about the small intestine, the parts of the small intestine are ileum, jejunum and duodenum. So ileostomy is the most common stoma which is formed in the small intestine, whereas the jejunum and the duodenum happens to be very rare, and they are the very high output stomas. Now when I talk about the large intestine, the parts of the large intestine are the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid and the rectum. But the most common stomas which are formed in this large intestine are the transverse colon and the sigmoid colon. That happens to be the end colostomy. The cecostomy is very rarely formed. So this stoma can be fairly flat or protruding outward to the body. Now, as the stoma is made in the intestine, there are no nerve endings. So the patient is not going to complain about any pain in the stoma. So these are the images of a variety of stoma. You can see normal as well as abnormal also. So there are stomas which are protruding outward to the body. There are stomas which are flushed, which are retracted, prolapsed stoma, stomas with peristomal hernia, with mucocutaneous suppressions, stoma where peristomal skin complications have happened, severe excoriation, inflammation has happened to the skin. So it is very important to recognize the normal from the abnormal to report, record and monitor any kind of problems. So in order to report the abnormalities of stoma, we need to have a thorough study regarding the characteristics of stoma. So we'll be dealing with the characteristics of stoma one by one. First is the color. So what is it that you're going to look for in a stoma? There are certain points, there are certain characteristics given. First is the color, then is the shape, then is the bleeding and edema, protrusion, location, peristomal skin, and last is the function. So based on these characteristics, we can tell whether the stoma is a healthy stoma or an unhealthy stoma. Now the first major characteristic of a stoma is the color. So now when we compare both these pics, we can term which stoma is healthy or which is unhealthy. The first picture says it all to be a healthy stoma. It is round, circular in shape. Due to the adequate blood supply, it is red in color, warm to touch, moist and free from any kind of peristomal skin complication. Whereas when we compare it with the second picture, it is black, dusky, pale in color and it is ischemic. Due to the inadequate blood supply, the stoma is not functioning. All these points term it to be an unhealthy stoma. Now there is going to be a slight amount of edema, but the edema as shown in the picture, it is going to be peristomal hernia. Whereas the excessive bleeding, when cleaning the stoma, blood in the pouch, blood from inside the stoma can lead to an abnormality in the stoma. Now the third characteristic is the shape. Now stoma can be round as well as oval in shape. Now any kind of deviation from this shape can lead to abnormality in the stoma. One of the main characteristics of the stoma is protrusion. An ideal stoma happens to be around 2 to 3 cm or 20 to 30 mm ideally protruded outward to the body. So in the first picture there is a moderate protrusion, and in the second picture the stoma is completely retracted. Now in the first picture we can place a stoma pouch very correctly, and the patient is not going to have any kind of skin complications, whereas in the second picture the patient is going to have many skin complications because the stoma is completely retracted. So it is going to come in direct contact with the skin. Now in this second slide of protrusion, it is very much clear, as in a colostomy how much the protrusion has to be, and whereas in an ileostomy how much is the protrusion needed. An ileostomy always have to have that spout around 2 to 3 cm because we know the content of the small intestine. That is why in order to prevent certain skin complications, an ileostomy always have to be spouted. Whereas in a colostomy, since it is a formed feces, the content can be evacuated directly into the stoma bag. Now the issue occurs when the stomas are being formed vice versa. Now if I say that a colostomy happens to be protruding, there won't be much issue. Now the issue occurs when the stomas are being formed vice versa. Now if I say an ileostomy to be retracted, the patient is going to land up in certain peristomal skin complications. As we know, the content of small intestines are nothing but enzymes, bile and acids, which are going to come in direct contact with the skin. So that is why the patient may suffer from certain skin complications. Whereas if a stoma, in a colostomy, if the stoma is completely retracted inside, the patient is going to land up in stomal constipation. Now the major characteristics of a stoma is the location. Now the stoma has to be located on a smooth portion of abdomen which is away from the belt line, that is the umbilical line, bony prominences, suture line as well as the umbilicus. When we compare both these pictures, you can state that it is away from the suture line, whereas when we compare the second picture, it is very close to the umbilicus. So this is not the case of an ideal stoma. Now next is the peristomal skin. When we compare both these pictures, we come to know which stoma is maintaining a good skin condition, whereas which stoma is maintaining an unhealthy skin condition. So just because the stoma is protruding outward, it is maintaining a good condition. Whereas in the second picture, the patient is having a flushed stoma. The effluent is coming in direct contact with the skin, and due to the inappropriate bag appliance, he is having lots of peristomal skin complication. We can term it to have unhealthy skin condition. Now the last characteristic of an ideal stoma is the function. Now there are certain days and hours which are cited for the stoma to work in. So this table says it all, that as to when the stoma will be functioning. Now first, in case of an ileostomy, it takes around 48 to 72 hours. The color would be viscous green and shiny in appearance. In case of a jejunostomy, it takes 48 hours. The effluent will be watery, clear and dark green. Whereas in case of a cecostomy, which is rarely seen, it starts functioning in the post-operative day 3rd. The effluent is clear liquid. Whereas in case of a transverse colostomy, it is going to be functioning in post-operative day 3rd or 4th. The consistency is going to be pasty to soft. In case of stigmoid colostomy, which is the end colostomy, it will take around post-operative day 5 to form soft formed stool. Last but not the least is the urostomy. We all know it is formed in the ureter with the help of a small part of ileum. It starts functioning immediately. So this is urine. So guys, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Stay blessed. Thank you.